This PSA was brought to you by the Peter G Show.
You may have second thoughts after the show.
Don't drink the faucet. We're really talented. We should get Oscars.
Just pick out a car, for Christ's sake.
No, hi, my name is Peter. Yeah, I want. Here's good.
Yeah.
Madam Perry.
I need to get back in the genie bottle.
Louis from Pennsylvania, you're on. He likes it. It's showtime.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorced dad, single dad, divorced dad, single dad, Peter G Show.
That's right, showtime Wednesday, beautiful weather, Wednesday. The weather's getting better and better for spring and summer. Fun time. If you can afford it nowadays. It's getting really expensive. Hard for people to live. I'll be talking about that tonight. How the hell is everybody? Waiting for everybody to kind of come on in, catch up. Got a great show for you tonight, I think. I get excited for nights like tonight, and I get sad for nights like tonight because I hate having to talk about the things that I'm going to talk about. But if I didn't, I'd be doing you a disservice. And that's why we're going to talk about things that happened this month. I had guests on. It was, I had to focus on the guests and the subject matter of the guests, which were great subjects. We're going to talk about that too. But at the same time, there's a lot of news going on, and the world is moving, and things are going on that you just may not be aware of. In fact, I'm betting money that you just not aware of. There's so many things. I can't get to them all, but I picked out a few that are, in my opinion, very important, and we're going to talk about it tonight. Right here on Life with Peter G, the Peter G Show, every Wednesday like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. on the East Coast. That is East. God willing. Definitely. And we need more of that in our lives because stuff is getting crazy, and I'm getting crazier about it because my mind is blown at you just don't think these things, how could these things happen? But they are, folks. So buckle up. Tonight's going to be a doozy. It's going to be one of those shows that I'm going to be borderline. I'll give you an example. The promos to this show, there was a couple of promos. The one that was put out on Monday, just advertising about this show on the Talk. Talk. They took it down. I didn't say anything. Just saying, tune in. I'm going to be talking about stuff. And they took it down. So what do? Like always, you have to appeal it. I appealed it. So 2 days later, just this afternoon, they finally put it back up. Because I did nothing wrong. It was me talking about what I'm going to do. So they put it back up. But it doesn't really matter. Because they put it back up, but they fixed the algorithms, and now nobody's looking at it. It doesn't exist. I can see that it's up, but nobody else can barely see it. So why bother? Censorship. Everybody's so scared TikTok's going to go away. It ain't going away, folks. It's not going away. But there is censorship. And our government is scared as hell because there's more truth going on TikTok than all your media, real media. I mean, there's some, but most people don't know where to look for it. And there's a lot of bright people on TikTok talking about stuff. And a lot of stupid shit that goes on TikTok too. A lot of funny stuff, entertaining, all of the above. But I'm pissed with them. They, in my opinion, it's like, I like TikTok. I don't mind it. But as my friend Elon says, because I'm really pissed with them because I'm banging my head against the wall with these guys. You can't. What happened to freedom of speech with TikTok? But Elon had it right. Here you go.
Go f*** yourself. Go yourself. Is that clear?
TikTok, is that clear? I don't care anymore. I just don't care anymore. If people want to find me, people are going to find me, and they're going to figure out that, what I'm saying is my opinion of the truth. And again, I don't dislike you. I won't dislike you if you don't agree with me. In fact, tonight, you better start commenting. If you want to comment, I'll read your comments if they're worthy. You need to comment on the official YouTube Peter G Show page, the official Facebook Peter G Show page. I can read your comments live on the air. I can see them. Let's put that in real time. So it's YouTube Peter G Show, Facebook page Peter G Show, not Peter Gisellis or anything like that. The Facebook Peter G Show page. Okay? And if you're not on there, you need to go hit and like it. If you're not on YouTube, you need to go subscribe for me, please. Just hit the subscribe. It's free. And you want to comment live on LinkedIn, Peter G Show, and X, Peter G Show. I can see all those comments in real time live. So I would do that if you have something to say, because I'm going to play some stuff tonight that you may disagree. I'm going to prove some things to you tonight that are going to either piss you off or you're going to say, oh, damn, I didn't know. Or right on, Peter. That's what I'm doing tonight, because it's all me and all you tonight. So I'm taking my time and I'm going through this stuff because it's important. We are living in some funky times, and I never believed in, lies and brainwashing and all this stuff, but it's real. It is realer than real. The problem is it's so damn good. There's a handful of people that don't believe it. They're like, Peter, oh, you're full of shit, Peter. You crazy ass. No, you're an idiot. Be that as it may. I'm going to show these things, and if you have the guts enough to hang in there with me, I will prove it to you tonight. Promise. Also, I want to go over a few things. We had some great guests this past month. I had Jim Goodrich with his Crossing Borders book. This book, it's hard for me to stay interested. This is the first of 6 books he's writing about his journey as being a contraband smuggler, aka he smuggled drugs since he was a late teenager, into adulthood, went to prison. He's got a story and he's telling it within 6 books. This is the first, number 1 of 6. Actually, a damn good book. I mean, the story is good. So you stay interested. Go out, Amazon. It's on Amazon. Go out and buy this book because it's worth it. Promise you. Also, near and dear to my heart, we talked to Stephanie Perucci a couple of weeks ago about the Lahaina fires. Burn Back Better. She wrote a book. All right? I'm telling you, I am not done talking about these Lahaina fires. I'm going to be bringing more people on that from the island that are going to talk about this because something is not right. And the cool thing about it is they wrote about this book and some factual stuff, and this is what I like the most about it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. There's some pages in the back, right there, that have barcodes. If you don't believe her, you can go to where she found the videos, and you can just scan the barcodes, and you can watch the videos yourself. There's some pretty damning stuff, and there's more and more coming out. There's a bunch of these barcodes, because let me tell you, there's tons of videos, pages of this. Pages of barcodes, okay, of seeing stuff. So, number 1, great book if you care about what's going on, because believe me, we're next. Somebody's going to be happen. It's going to happen somewhere else too. They think it's a land grab. I can't disagree with them. But the thing is, it's a tragedy what happened over there, and it doesn't make sense. And I got all these people. Not all these people. Every once in a while, I get people going, oh, cars can burn. Hey, Pete, and there he is. Look, he's alive. My correspondent. Wow. It's getting ready to call you, Paul, because you've been way too quiet. Love is powerful, isn't it? Tee-hee-hee. Back to what I was talking about. I showed people, the burning cars in the middle of nowhere. How could it catch fire and melt? And he's like, well, cars can melt. Yes, I know cars can melt. I know that. But how can a car catch fire to melt when there's nothing around it catching fire? I'm just getting distracted. I'm easily distracted. Look, a squirrel. The problem is, it's like, I get it. Yes, a car can burn and a car can melt, but not under those circumstances. That's where it really gets my ass. I get these smart eye, a car can melt. I get it. I know a car can melt. but not in the middle of nowhere by itself, catch fire to be that, even if the gas tank exploded. So what? Read this book. It's on Amazon. You can go get it. And I told you, I'm going to have more people I'm going to have on this show throughout the year because this is not right. And we got to stop, this shit from happening. We have to call them out. The lasers, but they call me crazy. Right, Paul? Yeah, I'm crazy. All right. All right. So, yeah, I'm glad you guys are tuning in. I got some great stuff to talk about tonight. I do. Where else am I at? The books. Speaking of things, I want to tell you real quick before I forget because I'm going to be all over the map. As always, next week, write this down for those of you lovebirds or those seeking love, except Paul. He's already in love. That's a fact. That's all I got to say about that. Next week, May 1st. This is the last show of the month already. April. Going to be gone. May 1st, Wednesday. Love is in the air. Okay? Professional matchmaker. Let's try it again. Wednesday, May 1st. Love is in the air. Professional matchmaker and love coach Patricia Fuqua is going to be with us right here. That's right, folks. On the Peter G Show. And it's for those who are seriously seeking love. You're looking for love and you're willing to put your money where your mouth is. This isn't for people who want to hook up. She's a professional matchmaker. And these are for women, men who really want to find somebody to settle in with. And she's going to be on this show and we're going to talk to her. She was on the show almost a couple of years ago, 2 years ago. Well, I'm having her back because, again, I think people need to know this kind of stuff. Everybody wants to be loved. Everybody's looking for love. But at the same time, nobody gets off their ass. And she's the one who says, hey, I'll make it happen. But you need to show up and you need to, make it work. So Wednesday, May 1st, right here, Patricia Fuqua, professional matchmaker and love coach on the Peter G Show. That's right. I like it. I like doing these kind of things every once in a while. It's the way it goes. Also, I want to ask you a question. Let's take a drink. Woo! Smooth. I want to ask you a question. Everybody, lots of people watch TV. Some people don't. But does anybody watch the Gutfeld show? It's on Fox. Okay, so I don't care if you hate Fox. I don't care. But it's a political satire show. This show is specifically designed to make fun of politics. They make fun of the politicians. They make fun of people in politics, in the news, and they make fun of themselves. Does anybody know who the Gutfeld show is? Because it's an entertaining show. I like it. A lot of people think, I don't like that guy, Greg Gutfeld. Yeah, he's kind of wiry. He's edgy. But they're funny. They're funny. Unlike nowadays, our late night shows that used to be great, the Johnny Carson days are over. They're over. We don't have entertainment late at night. Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert, they've become bashing political puppets. There's nothing funny about them except for their couple of chosen followers that follow them, but they're tanking. Even though it's on a major network, they're tanking. They're not doing well, but major networks have money and they keep pushing it because they can't back down. But they're not that funny anymore. There's no entertainment. So I like the Gutfeld show. They're not like a late night all around entertainment show. They don't have, people, pushing movies or this and that like the old days. They specifically make fun of current events and news. Kind of like tonight. I'm not making fun of it though. I'm bringing it to your attention. Either way, I like that show. And I'm telling you, these are my goals. I want to be on the Gutfeld show. I do. That's my goal. And you can say, oh, you're an idiot. Or you can say, yeah, that'd be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I want to be on the Gutfeld show. So here it is. I want to be on the Gutfeld show. Greg Gutfeld. I want to be on the Gutfeld show. That's it. Because I think it's a great show. And I like making fun of stuff. It's like, I like it. There's nothing better than making fun of stuff. And that's my job. Actually, I've been doing that for free for years, making fun of stuff. Don't mention it, but I want to be on Gutfeld. And you mark this down. I don't know when it'll be, but it will be. Promise. One way, shape, or form. If I got to go over there and sleep on his doorstep, I will make it onto that show one of these days. Because I like it. It's funny. It's actually entertaining. It doesn't matter whether you're on side A or side B or what team you're on. They actually make good jokes. They make jokes. And they make fun of themselves. So, please, Greg, I want to be on your show. I'll be on the Gutfeld show. Just a matter of time. You watch. Mark it on your calendars. We'll see how long it takes. All right. So here's what's going to happen. We are going to get into some deep videos and some things I'm going to talk about. Serious things that are going on in our lives in this country tonight. And I'm going to be bringing a lot of stuff to your attention. But first, there's a catch. I really want to hear from my good friends over at Clean Star Products with their money-saving fuel additive DX1 driver, because it makes sense to save money. Gas in California right now? $5.30 a gallon for the cheap gas. The cheapest you can find, $5.30. I've seen $7 and change at some gas stations for regular gasoline. So check this out. I'll be right back because this stuff gets me fired up. Be right back.
Hello, I'm Tyrone Thompson of CleanStarProducts.com. This is DX1 Driver in the news, and here's what our friends have to say.
So I'm here to recap on the DX1 I've used. I put it in oil and I put it in the gas. While I'm using it just for about 3 tanks. Cleaned everything out. I got every ounce of power back in my truck.
When Jared's truck was new, it had a lot of power. Then over time, it began to slow down. He got it all back with our DX1 Driver program.
Something you got to see for yourself. It's a great product. It's affordable. And it blows all the other additives and esters out of the water.
DX1 Driver is the finest oil in the world from a California environmental company. It goes into the fuel system and the oil. It's the only green grade product qualified for the carbon credits program, giving you better fuel mileage, lower emissions, and increased horsepower. So join the fuel savings revolution today. Go to CleanStarProducts.com/shop.
That's right, folks. Clean Star Products. All I can tell you is they actually have a product that works. I use it myself. I would not talk about something that I cannot talk about, that I do not know anything about. And I have a high mileage pickup truck. High mileage. Over 200,000 miles on that truck. Had it since it was brand new. Love that truck. Will never let it go because they don't make them like that anymore. To me, it was like the last of the. Now everything you buy is $100,000 and they're shit. They're throwaways. It's killing me. I've put the DX1 driver in the tank and in the oil changes, and I noticed a significant difference within 3 tankfuls of this product. And you don't have to use a lot. And the more you use it, the less you have to use. You pour one of these. This is SUV size right here. This is the regular common car size right here. Common car size, truck or SUV. You pour one of these in the oil change, and it lasts the whole oil change. You put in the crankcase, and then when you fill up your tank, I have a 30-gallon tank on that truck. Okay, put one of these in there. There's little bitty bottles. It's not a whole lot. Put it in. Let it run out. Then, but get another one. Let it run out. And then after about 3 or 4 tanks of this, you can actually back down and use half for regular maintenance. It cleans out everything. I noticed it. My daughter, when she drives the vehicle, she noticed it, that you don't have to tap on the gas as hard to get it to go. What used to take more pedal to get it to move. It cleaned out everything. It gives it more horsepower, more lubricity, lets things just flow better, working better, just like a good body. Take care of your body and your body will take care of you. Same thing. If you want more information for the Clean Star Products DX1 driver, this stuff right here, go to www.cleanstarproducts. There's a phone number there. Ty Thompson wants you to call him directly. He wants to talk to you. All right? Look, I'm telling you this because this is a company that cares. He knows there's plenty of things you can do and plenty of products out there, but he gives a shit about his product and cares. He'll answer all your questions. And should you, after talking to him, decide you want to order, check this out. You mentioned that you saw it on the Peter G Show. And when you do that, here's what happens. You will get 5 bottles of the DX1 driver for the price of 4. That's right. You heard it here first, folks. Mention the Peter G Show, and you will get 5 bottles for the price of 4. Come on. A deal's a deal. All right? Just go do it. I'm telling you, they have a company that cares about what they do, and it actually works. So please remember, they know what I do, and they still sponsor me. So God bless them. DX1 driver, Clean Star Products, www.cleanstarproducts.com. And I'm taking my time tonight and talking about all these things because I can. Let's take another drink. I'm in one of those moods tonight. And look, Paul, I haven't talked to you in weeks. You were MIA, and now look at you. You're all over the map. God bless you. I love you. Let's see. You would really be a great. What did Paul say? Let's feature Paul. You would really be great on Gutfeld or Jimmy Fallon on the weekend. Oh, really? Yeah, that'd be great on the weekend. So are you being funny, Mr. Funny Man? They don't do shows on the weekend. That Paul. He's everybody's a comedian. All right, here's to let's get started, all right? Woo. Super smooth. All right, so I'm going to start off. I hate this. I hate having to talk about this kind of stuff. I really do. But you need to know because I've really found that a lot of people don't know. And I hate talking about these things. This past month, I'm sure some of you and most of you might be aware, but a New York City police officer was murdered, shot to death in New York, Manhattan. It was 31-year-old Jonathan Diller was the cop that got shot. And even though he had a bulletproof vest on, I think it went underneath. He got shot in the stomach, went below his vest, and he died. And the person that shot him had been arrested 27 or 29 times. You would think after the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 10th, 15th, 17th, 21st, 25th, 26th time you get arrested, something's wrong here. But I'm going to play I found a clip of this because you need to hear this stuff because this is going on in New York and you're wondering why cops don't want to be cops anymore because the criminals are getting away with this shit. And this is what gets my ass because someday you're going to need these cops. And why would you want to be a cop? No respect. These don't get. We're going to talk about the borders too, and these illegal immigrants. They don't care. They're going to shit all over us. That's later on. This guy lost his life, left a infant child. This child will never know his father and a wife. For what? For this piece of shit that shot him. Here's check this out, and we'll talk some more.
10 a.m. hour, a vigil planned for tonight for NYPD officer Jonathan Diller. The 31-year-old officer was a husband and a father to a 1-year-old boy. He was shot and killed during that traffic stop in Queens, and now we know charges are still pending against the 2 suspects. Both have lengthy criminal records. Eyewitness News reporter Phil Tate live outside the police precinct in Far Rockaway this morning, where the driver is still being held. Phil, what do we know?
Yeah, we're waiting for those charges to be announced at any moment for those 2 suspects in the death of Officer Diller. We're also learning that a second gun was recovered from that car. And plus, we are learning more details about these 2 career criminals, one of them who was inside of the precinct right now. Guy Rivera, accused of shooting Officer Diller, and Lindy Jones, who's inside this precinct. This cell phone video captures the arrest of the alleged killer. Investigators now believe the suspects were casing a T-Mobile store on Mott Avenue when Diller and another officer driver asked the suspects to move their car from the bus stop as they were apparently parked illegally. Well, that's when the encounter turned deadly. Officials say they refused to roll down their windows, while Diller ordered the passenger to show his hands. Instead, the passenger, Guy Rivera, allegedly pulled the trigger, striking the slain officer below his vest. Yesterday, a sea of blue. Diller's remains draped with the NYPD flag, a reminder of his commitment to protect and to serve. Scenes of mourning linger with a dignified transfer from the medical examiner's office to the funeral home in Massapequa Park. For neighbors, they vow to honor his memory.
I can never forget who he is. He was very adamant about serving this community.
Every day that my son goes to work, I pray to God, and he's always in my prayers because they're going out to work, but you don't know when they're coming back.
You can just feel that emotion there. You're taking a live look right now at a growing memorial for Officer Jonathan Diller's honor. His final journey before he is laid to rest will begin Thursday afternoon. As for the suspects, they both have a very lengthy rap sheet. Guy Rivera had been arrested 21 times, 9 of those felonies. Again, we are waiting for those charges to be formally announced.
I don't get it. How do you let this stuff happen? But this is the world we're living in right now. This guy lost his life. The cops in New York, they make a point to work in the same areas, get to know the people in the areas, to say, hey, I'm here. They want to keep. New York is getting to be a shithole. A lady, well, no, it's LA. A lady just got stabbed to death in Studio City, not far. Studio City, California. This is blocks, Universal Cities. The subway say she was coming home from work in the late morning hours, and a crazy homeless guy in the subway just walked by her and stabbed her to death for no reason. This is the shit we're dealing with because we don't have enough cops. We don't have enough because anybody can get away with anything nowadays, and that's it. That woman never got to go home to her family. The only reason a lot of you may not give a shit is because it didn't happen to you. And I'm not saying that to everybody, but there's a lot of people that are going to look at me and going, oh, bullshit, because it doesn't affect you. But it's going to. Little by little, more and more of this stuff is happening. And this cop didn't get to go home for no reason. Well, they pulled him over because they were parked in the thing. Number one, they were criminals. They just stumbled upon these criminals. Told them to move. They could have just gotten their car if they played it cool. I mean, they were in the car, rolled down the window, said sorry, and drove off. They wanted them to move out of the bus lane that they were parked in. But no, he pulled out a gun after being arrested. I'm sorry, I said 27 times, 21 times. Excuse me. And they killed the man. And what good is it? Now we're going to support these fuckers in jail. They're going to go this time. I don't think they're going to be able to get away with this. But they're just going to. Now we got to pay for them to live in jail. It's shit. That's New York. And New York, every time I turn on the news, somebody's in the subway. Somebody's getting pushed onto the tracks by some random crazy person. Somebody's getting shot. Dude, when's this going to end? When are we going to say enough is enough? Speaking of which, so now we have to hear Jonathan Diller's widow speak at his wake or funeral. I'm not sure exactly which one this was, but check this out real fast because this is what is happening and this is what this woman is going to have to bear the rest of her life as well as her child who will never, ever know his father.
It's hard to imagine how long I have to wait to see Jonathan again. When the doors to heaven open for me one day, I hope to see Jonathan standing there looking at me just like he did on our wedding day. My husband died a hero, but he also lived as one. Our world will never be the same, but I know I speak for everyone when I say I could not be more proud of him. It's been 2 years and 2 months since Detective Rivera and Detective Mora made the ultimate sacrifice just like my husband, Jonathan Diller. Dominique Rivera stood in front of all the elected officials present today pleading for change. that change never came, and now my son will grow up without his father. I will grow old without my husband, and his parents have to say goodbye to their child. How many more police officers and how many more families need to make the ultimate sacrifice before we start protecting them? I don't wish this kind of pain on anyone. Jonathan lived his life doing good for people, and it's now time for people to do good for all the officers he represents.
You see that shit? Change never came. They're not doing anything. These DAs, they don't do nothing. Giuliani, love him or hate him, he cleaned up New York. I used to spend a lot of time in New York City. I used to have to go there a lot. And it was great again. Make New York great again. You walk around, no problem. When I was a child, New York, 42nd Street and all these places were kind of rough. I mean, they were kind of weird. And then everything kind of got good and the place was thriving. It's turned into a shithole again. Now, I haven't been there in several years, and I'm debating to go back there. Because why would I want to? Unless I was on the Gutfeld show. Then I'd go back. But even still, you have to walk with eyes behind your head. Here's the kicker. While this poor woman is standing there, having to talk about this stuff, that cops are losing their lives. Hang on a second. Let's see what Francis has to say real quick. Uh-oh. Let's see if I can see this. Everything that happens, good and bad, does affect us all. Yeah, it does, but some sooner than later, or some don't ever. It just doesn't affect. As we ate the energy, as we ate all energy connected, as we are all energy connected. If stuff doesn't affect a person, is a 1/4 half of the problem. Yeah, so very heartfelt speech. Sorry for your pain and loss. Let's see, is that the end of the whole thing? Yeah. Well, listen, it sucks, Francis. It sucks, and thanks for saying something. There's no doubt about it. But that's the problem. Who wants to be a cop? You arrest people for doing something bad, and it's a waste of time. They're let back out on the streets only to be arrested again and again and again until they finally kill somebody, and even then it's questionable as to what's going to happen to them. Okay, so why bother and risk your life? That's the problem. Okay, so here's the kicker. While all this wake and funerals going on for this slain police officer, your chief in command, President of the United States of America, is at Radio City Music Hall with Obama and Clinton having a fundraiser. They're trying to raise money to campaign for presidency. So he, not only is Biden there, but he needs help from his other two from the past. And Lizzo, that fat bitch. How much did it cost to put on this presentation in Radio City Music Hall for donors to go? Because it all costs money. Even when people do benefits, I used to do benefits, but crew has to get paid. Venues get paid. Things, you have to pay expenses. Everybody can't afford to work for free, but the big wigs, they'll show up. So while he's doing that and raising money, there's a wake and a funeral going on. By the way, that Radio City Music Hall fundraiser for the Democratic Party. And again, I don't give a shit, you people who are going to start bitching me out, Democrats, Republicans. I hate them all. I hate them all. Politics. Politicians suck. While they're doing that, raising money, Biden didn't call to say, hey, I'm really sorry, because it took, there's a lot of attention on this. He didn't call. He didn't show up. Didn't do anything. He had his fundraiser to do. Trump showed up to to Jonathan Diller's wake. He showed up with open arms. The people embraced him being there. The governor of New York tried to show up, and they told her to get the fuck out. Because he's a piece of shit too. My opinion. They told her to go. Don't show up over here, because she was part of the problem. The DAs tried to show up. They told them, go away. They're the problem. This happened. It's the blood on their hands because they're the ones letting all these criminals run around New York. It's all on purpose. Cripple the whole state, city, country. Depend on the government. Create a problem, offer a solution. So far, there's no solution. But this is what's going on. Sorry, folks. I just got to do this. My earbuds. What the hell is going on here? Come on. There we go. Sorry. So they told the governor of New York to get the hell out. Nobody, you can not like Trump all you want. He doesn't have to do what he does, but he does. It's a whole nother show, because it's so unfair. I don't care if you don't like him. I don't care. I just look at his actions. The hell with his mean words and this and that. I'm looking at his actions, and I'm looking at our current cabinet, government, president's actions. There are none. And that's right there. Tape don't lie, as we used to say in the recording. When you're making a record, you make a mistake, you go, that's not me. It's like, play it back. Yeah, it was you. You made a mistake. Your timing was off. Whatever. I would get that. Tape don't lie. That was the slogan. Uh-oh. Let's see what the hell going on. Yeah. Okay. Don't. Thanks, Paul. Keeping me on. That's Biden's thing. Yeah. What do you think about going to say you're sorry and going to, give your condolences to the widow of Jonathan Diller? And he'll just say, don't, because he didn't. So that says a lot about a person right there. Either way, Trump was welcomed with open arms, because you can say all the bullshit, you can believe all the bullshit you want. He's doing more than most. But anyway, what do I know, right? Next. That's just New York City. That's just one incident. This shit's going on every single day. Don't believe me? Pay attention. I'm going to shift gears a little bit. Just recently, over the weekend, they decided to give $61 billion more to Ukraine. Another drop in the bucket. $61 billion, $95 billion in all. Some's going to Israel. Not a dime's going to our borders. But the problem I have with all this money going to Ukraine is, for those of you who are who think that it's going to a good cause, I beg to differ. Yes, Ukrainian people are suffering, but this money isn't helping any Ukrainian people. It's killing Ukrainian people. You don't hear Zelensky trying to resolve with Putin. Nothing. Just keep on fighting, because this money is going in their pockets and some of our government's pockets. They're all getting kickbacks. War equals profits for those who have invested in that kind of stuff. It's been like that for generations. So for those of you who are sympathizing, we need to give money to Ukraine. I kind of get what you think, but you're wrong. It's all bullshit. And I'm going to prove it to you. Or not prove it to you. You're going to listen to somebody who I love this guy, and I'm trying to get him on my show. He's blown up. He's kind of busy, but I love him. And his name is Matt Kim. And I found him on TikTok. He's on Instagram as well. Very logical man who speaks very well and very simplistic for all to understand. And this is what's going on with Ukraine, and we just keep on giving more unaccountable money that is lining the pockets of the hierarchy. And if you don't believe me, it's time you start to friggin' pinch yourself and start believing. But here's Matt Kim. I want you to check him out. And if you don't listen to me, maybe he's got a way better way of explaining it. I've just had it. I've had it. Check this out.
Congress hates you. That's the only logical explanation. Over the weekend, hoping you wouldn't notice, the House has passed a $95 billion spending package, $61 billion for Ukraine, and $26 billion for Israel, and $8 billion for Taiwan. The two-party uniparty strikes again. The United States is currently $35 trillion in debt, and the U.S. federal budget deficit is $1.8 trillion. Just the interest on that debt is $810 billion. The $61 billion for Ukraine and $26 billion for Israel isn't coming from leftover money sitting around. They're spending your money that they don't have. April 15th, file your taxes. April 20th, they vote to spend it in the cover of the weekend news cycle. Even worse, they waved Ukrainian flags while doing it. Can't make this stuff up. The U.S. elected leaders, those chosen by the people to represent the interests of the U.S. populace, chose to put your children in further debt while waving another country's flag. The U.S. elected officials waved another country's flags while deciding to give away your hard-earned money for free to another country's border problem. How was war in Ukraine going, by the way? $200 billion spent over the last 2 years. Is anyone winning? Is Putin losing? Where did Ukraine spend the money they already received? Nobody knows? Then why the hell are we sending more? $61 billion. Border crisis, migrant crisis, homelessness crisis, drug crisis, mental health crisis, credit card debt crisis, housing crisis, interest rate crisis, education crisis, crime crisis, censorship crisis, domestic surveillance crisis, health crisis, cancer crisis, food crisis, transportation crisis, logistics crisis, infrastructure crisis, cyber terrorism crisis. Unlimited domestic issues that need to be addressed immediately. And the solution to the problems that concern American lives is burn $95 billion in foreign wars while waving another country's flag. Cheering, clapping, disgusting, disgraceful, treasonous. Only 14 Republican House representatives voted against the spending package. The rest of the two-party uniparty hates you.
You might want to watch that video again. You know, let it sink in. Go back and listen to him again, because they're all making money off of war. Our government, our Congress, senators, they know where to sink their money into. I can't believe how many millionaires are in our government, paid on public servant salaries. They're all rich. And it's costing you and me, and it's a scam. It's a scam. Where's that money coming from? We don't have that money. They're just printing it. We're in debt. It's a scam. And until we, the people, you start speaking up, and people say, there's nothing you can do, Peter. Yes, there is. I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. Just start raising your voice, because they don't want attention. They're going to do it because you're silent. This war is stupid. It doesn't have to be. But they keep on doing it because they're lining their pockets. They don't give a shit about you or me or those people. They're lining their pockets. It's a scam. They played on your heartstrings, and I get it for those of you who fell for it, because really, the Ukrainian people are suffering. They are. They don't care about them. They don't care. We're next. It's just a matter of time. Let's talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene. I know that the media has conditioned you to hate her. Like, she's a troublemaker. She's, just always raising hell. She's always going against the grain, because the media, enemy number one, the media. Keep that in your heads. The media is bullshit. I'm going to prove that to you tonight, too. But in a few minutes. Every time they show her, she's a troublemaker. She's going against the grain. She's not really going with the whole thing. And there's a reason why. Because she's one of the few out of that whole crowd that doesn't want to be the evil that they are. She's had enough. They are all in it together, both Republican and Democratic sides. You know, only 14 Republicans voted against this whole bill. What does that tell you? That they just don't know what they're talking about? No, because everybody's in it together. They want this stuff to pass because it's not going to hurt them. They benefit from it while we, the people, have to pay for all this stuff. You don't feel it? You are feeling it. Every time you go grocery shopping, every time you get up, every time you pay any kind of bill, you're going to feel it. It's going to get worse. You think it's bad now? You have no idea. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'm sorry, folks. If you don't like her, great. But maybe you want to pay attention because she makes sense because she doesn't want to put up with this shit. She wants a government that is legit, that cares about you, the people. So screw you if you don't think that you think she's an idiot. She's not an idiot. She cares about you. But you're so conditioned watching these TV shows, these news channels. You don't have to listen to me. I'm just trying to get you to pay attention. Check out Mar. This one's a little lengthy, but she cares about what's going on because they're all corrupt. I'm sorry, in my opinion. They're all corrupt, and it's for their good and not our good. And we're the ones, they're just supposed to manage things. We've elected these people in there. It's time for them all to go. They got to go. They got to go. Check out Marjorie Taylor Greene. She'll explain it to you. If you don't like what she has to say, great. I respect your opinion, but I think she makes a lot of sense. Check it out.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My amendment today would drive the bill for Ukraine. Take each dollar amount in this act is hereby reduced to zero. You see, the United States taxpayer has already sent $113 billion to Ukraine, and a lot of that money is unaccounted for. This is a continuance of a sick business model that the American government continues. The federal government continues to fund the military-industrial complex, and this is a business model that requires Congress to continue to vote for money, to continue to fund foreign wars, and this is a business model the American people do not support. They don't support a business model built on blood and murder and war in foreign countries, while this very government does nothing to secure our border. The American people are over $34 trillion in debt, and the debt is rising by over $40 billion every single night while we all sleep. But yet nothing is done to secure our border or reduce our debt. Inflation has driven out of control. Americans are suffering every single day. They can hardly afford their grocery bills. They can hardly afford gas in their car. They can hardly afford rent. And now mortgage payments are well over $3,000, where they were only just over $1,700 3 years ago. The youngest generation, young adults, don't even think they're going to be able to buy a home in their lifetime. And today in Congress, the most important thing that this body thinks should be done is to send another $61 billion to a war in Ukraine that the American people by 70% do not support. Mind you, this comes on the very heels of Monday being April 15th, tax day, where every single American had to scrounge up their money and send their dollars in to the IRS. Or some of them had to file extensions because they weren't ready and didn't have the money to pay their taxes. But today, this body says the most important thing we can do, no, is not reduce spending. That's not it. Not to do anything to drive down inflation. Oh, no, we can't do that for the American people. It's not to secure our own border that is invaded every single day, by people from over 160 different countries. No, don't secure the American border. Let everyone in. We have over 1.8 million known gotaways. We don't know who these people are. And yet you have members of this body talking big and tough about, oh, we have to defeat Russia. Oh, we have to protect Ukraine. But yet all of you are unwilling to protect the American citizens that pay your paycheck, pay the light bills in this building, and pay for this entire federal government. For what? For nothing. Ukraine is not even a member of NATO. Ukraine is not a member of NATO, but the most important thing you hear in Washington, D.C. is, oh, we have to spend Americans' hard-earned tax dollars over to Ukraine and keep the money going to continue to murder Ukrainians, wipe out an entire generation of Ukrainian men so that there are widows, there are fatherless orphans, there are not enough men to work in their industries. Oh, but you really support Ukraine. Wow, what kind of support is that? It's repulsive. You know, shame on the American government. Shame on the American government. If we support our military, support our military. We should be funding to build up our weapons and ammunition, not to send it over to foreign countries to kill foreign peoples. And if this body was worth what it claims to be, what it is, every single one of us would be demanding peace in Ukraine between these countries, peace for these people, so that no more of them have to die. But you never hear anybody demanding peace. No, 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 no. Peace is the last thing Washington wants because it doesn't fit the business model. This is a business model that they say continues our economy, protects American jobs. What a disgusting business model. We should have a business model that builds up our American companies and American jobs to serve American interest, and our military and our government should care about protecting the national security of the United States of America and the Americans that pay their hard-earned tax dollars to fund all of this. America last. America last. That's all this is. Every single day, America last.
Gentlewoman's time has expired.
I yield.
Tell me that didn't make any sense. I don't care if you don't like her. A lot of people won't even put up watching the damn thing because, oh, blinders, you're conditioned. Tell me she didn't make sense. Tell me that doesn't make sense. I dare you. She knows what she's talking about. She's living amongst those ghouls. Her colleagues are corrupt. Our Congress is so screwed up. They need to go. And all our money is going out the door because it's not affecting them. They're getting paid. They're getting their kickbacks. It's not affecting them, so they don't care. They've lost touch with reality. She's one of the few who still has her feet on the ground and is saying, screw this, you're messing everybody up, this whole country. So if you don't believe me, you don't care, at least if you watched it, maybe through the grace of God, there's something that'll stick in your head to start paying a little more attention because things are not as they seem. Page 5. Buckle up now. I'm going to tell you a few things that you're either going to love me or hate me, but it's the truth. I'm going to tell you something. And I want you to listen real good. Because a lot of you are going to say, call bullshit. And I'm about to prove this in one simple example. But you're going to have to take this example and apply it to everything you watch. You ready? Our media lies to you 24/7, 7 days a week. Okay? The news you watch, 90% of it, there is some good news out there. But majority of you people who watch the news are being lied to 24/7, 7 days a week. Okay? And now you start saying, oh, screw you, Peter. See, the thing is, there was a time when it wasn't like that. So we trusted the news. Now, we've always been, the news still, we're not a third world country like Iran to where they censor everything, but we are now. And that's what the problem is. You would never think the news would lie to you. Okay? Why would the news lie to us? That's impossible, Peter. It's possible. They passed a law. blows my mind how they let this in, how they even allow this. But Obama in 2012 passed the Smith-Mund Act. He repealed it. It was a law that said our media has to stick, for the most part, they have to be truthful. Go look it up. It's on Google. I'm surprised that Google even lets this be seen, because it clearly states the Smith-Mund Act of 1947 was repealed in 2012 or 13. Obama and our government now allows the media to just say whatever the hell they want to say with no repercussions. And my friends, believe me when I tell you, that's what they're doing daily, 24/7, 7 days a week, except for a small chosen NPR. These places, these that you grew up trusting, it's all bullshit. It just, whatever it takes to fit their narrative, that's what they're doing. And if you don't believe me, I need you to pay attention to what I'm going to show you. This is going to be one example of a crime on how the media twists what actually happens, and you only hear that because you believe. If you're a CNN watcher and an MSNBC watcher, you really need to watch this, because they are the worst of the bullshitters, of the ultimate bullshitters. And I used to love these people years ago. Years ago. They are crap now. And for those of you who still believe and turn your channels and listen to everything they say, you need to check yourself. That's why I'm here, to help you understand things are not as they seem. Watch this video of a black man who got shot in Chicago because he pulled a gun on cops when they pulled him over, and how the news twisted it around by only telling you a piece of the story, not the whole story. So check it now. Now again, this clip that I'm going to show you is from Fox News. For those of you who hate Fox News, sorry, but this I had to show because it tells the story from Jesse Waters. All right, check it out.
The media knows which way the wind's blowing, so they're trying to stir things up. The George Floyd death and the riots that followed energized the base and kept the black vote in the Democrat column. And now the media is trying to run it back. But we caught them. 3 weeks ago, Dexter Reed, out of Chicago, shot by police during a traffic stop. He's black. 100 shots were fired. Here's the family.
Why does the police keep doing this to young black African men? If he was supposed to get pulled over for a traffic stop, why did they have 4 guns pointed at him? He was scared.
He had just bought his new car 3 days before that, and he was just riding around in his car. He said, "Mom, I'm going for a ride." And they killed him. They killed him. They killed him.
Reed's family's upset, and we're so sorry. There's nothing like losing a child. But they're not telling you the truth. Dexter Reed opened fire on police. After he was pulled over, he shot at police first, and they returned fire. His gun was recovered, and he'd emptied his clip. We'll show you the video in a second, but look at these headlines. Seatbelt violation ends with black man dead on Chicago street after cops fired nearly 100 bullets. Police fire 96 shots in 41 seconds, killing black man during traffic stop. Deadly Chicago traffic stop where police fired 96 shots raises serious questions about use of force. Not one of those headlines tells you that Reed is the one who started the shootout. The media is looking for another George Floyd to divide and conquer with. And the Chicago mayor is in on it.
As mayor and as a father raising a family, including 2 black boys on the west side of Chicago, I am personally devastated to see yet another young black man lose his life during an interaction with the police.
An interaction with the police? He opened fire on police, and police did what they're trained to do: return fire until the threat to their lives and to the lives of their fellow officers is neutralized. What the media won't tell you is that Dexter Reed didn't want to go back to prison because he was awaiting trial on gun charges. He'd also just been arrested for shoplifting. Viewer warning, This is the body cam footage of the shooting, and it shows a very different story than what the media is presenting.
Roll the windows down. Roll the window down, man. Roll the window down. What are you doing? Roll this one down. Roll that one down too. This one up. Hey, don't roll the window up. Don't roll the window up. Okay, okay. Do not roll the window up. Unlock the doors now. Unlock the doors now. Unlock the doors now. Open the door now. Open the door now. Open the door now.
All Reed had to do was comply. Roll down the window, catch another gun charge, serve time, stay alive. But he tried to murder a police officer in cold blood just to stay out of jail. 11 shots were fired by Reed. He only stopped shooting because he ran out of ammo. Now, knowing all of that, this is how CNN described the incident.
Chicago police firing 96 shots in 41 seconds at one man in a deadly traffic stop last month that killed 26-year-old Dexter Reed. Newly released body cam video shows what led to this all. Police say they pulled Reed over for not wearing a seatbelt. When officers approached his SUV, the situation quickly escalated.
Well, why did it escalate, Jake? Police shootings can be complicated, we know, but this wasn't. Are police supposed to just allow themselves to be shot at and then let the shooter drive away? The media also won't tell you this. Some of those officers were black. The one who got shot was black. And trust me, this won't be the first time between now and November that the media tries to pull something like this. So stay alert.
The media lies. Right there. CNN, you're a piece of shit. And there's many more. Again, MSNBC, they are top two. CNN, MSNBC. And for those of you that watch it, I understand you used to like them, you believed them, but they lie. How these people wake up in the morning and live with themselves, I don't understand. I'm going to give you an example, and I can't play clips. I got many clips. This dude right here, this dude is one of the biggest lying pieces of shit on the planet. How this dude wakes up and lives with themselves every single day is beyond me. But that's what money does to some people. They'll do anything for money. And this is the number one. There's several of them. There's many of them. I'm just showing you what I feel is one of the top two. There's actually, I can go on and on and on. But this dude right here is a piece of crap liar that lies to you, the American people, every single day. And you've learned to trust this dude. You've learned to trust him because in the past, there was stuff that was okay. It was doable, believable. And I got clips with that guy, this guy right here, telling you about, getting the old 1-2 in the arm, telling you how great it was and what it's going to do, and it stops everything dead in its tracks, the furthest from the truth. But that's what money does to these pieces of shit. This one right here, number two, enemy number two. This little bitch, Morning Joe, is another one. Lies. She's a liar. Everything that comes out of this little bitch's mouth is a lie. That's my opinion. But you judge for yourself, because now you need to start watching. But how they wake up, how they go to work every day and just sit there and tell lie upon lie is beyond me. And again, I just showed you actual proof. I didn't have them, giving the news on this one incident, but this is a prime example. That's just one incident of what the media, how they're twisting your brains, and you believe them. They're trying to start another George Floyd incident. Keep everybody divided. Keep everybody angry. Just bullshit. Just keep on shoveling shit into your ears and you're going to believe them and keep everybody angry. These protests and all this kind of stuff that's going on. Again, there's not enough hours for this show. But I hope this is a little example of what's actually going on and how they are twisting the truth, and you, the people, not everybody, are believing what they're telling you. Don't believe it. You don't even have to believe me. Dig deeper, because the truth is out there. And I used Fox as an example because they're one of the few. There's other ones. But they told the truth about that, and you can't deny it. There's no denying it. It was right there. You can't deny it. I don't care if you don't like Fox News Network. I don't really like them either. There's a few of them that I do like. Like the Gutfeld Show. I want to be on the Gutfeld Show. But even Fox flip-flops with some of their stuff. Again, there's a hierarchy that's dictating all this stuff, and we're just little peons, and they're feeding us peons all this stuff and manipulating everything. They're going to destroy us if you don't get the big picture and start jumping on board and saying enough is enough. We're on to you now. I don't even know if this show will make it past tomorrow. And if not, I'm on 12, 13 different places plus podcasts. Keep finding me. But I know there'll be one or two places that might take this show down. And if they do, it is what it is. I'm already prepared for this. But I will not stop trying to help you people, some people who are sitting on the fence, who don't know one way or another. You just kind of take what they're going. It's like, why would they lie to us? They're the news. They're lying. They're lying. They have an agenda. And they don't care about you. Hard to believe, but it's true. I just showed you. And these puppets that sit there and get paid big money to feed you full of shit. As opposed to me. I'm not telling you to believe me. I'm telling you to look deeper. You'll thank me later. I too, 10 years ago, I was just like some of you who are probably looking at me and going, oh, screw this guy. Troublemaker. I'm not a troublemaker. I'm telling you what's real. But I finally caught on. I thank God every day that I did. The pieces of shit. The worst of the worst. This stuff upsets me. I really wish I wasn't having to talk about this stuff. I like doing funny stuff. I love laughing. But I feel it's my duty to tell you these things in hopes that we can all join together. They want us angry. They want us hating each other. They want us divided. That's what they want. It works. So they can keep on carrying on their agenda. We're just going to be worker bees. Own nothing and love it and like it. Do as you're told and you'll like it. It's coming. Unless you tell them, I'm on to you and this shit ain't going to happen. Stand up. It doesn't take much. I'm not asking anybody to be a martyr. Just be aware. When they figure out that nobody's buying this big, giant bullshit lie anymore, they'll calm down. This stuff resurfaces every 60, 80 years. World War II was getting like that. Hitler was doing all his stuff. People bought into it, and then he just took over everything. Thank God. America was still on track, trying to be somebody. Now, we're a laughingstock. Doesn't have to be this way. Page 7. The border. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about the border, but the border's kind of got taken a back seat the past few weeks. Ooh, smooth. But meanwhile, while we're hearing all these other distractions, our borders, they're coming through just an open gateway. Thousands every day. Don't know who they are. We're giving them money. Here, bring your drugs, bring your human trafficking, children. All that coming into this country. And again, if it doesn't affect you yet, it's going to. These illegal immigrants, they don't give a shit about this country now. Don't get me wrong. There's those chosen few that are good. But the majority, it's a free pass. Terrorists coming through. No big deal. We don't know who they are until something bad happens. Why do we have to wait until something bad happens? Why do we have to wait until people get killed, something bad happens? We know what's going on. And if you don't know, pay the fuck attention. I'm telling you, something's going on. Stop living in a damn bubble, because it's going to affect you and your children and your family and your friends. Everybody is going to be affected, if it's not already. Depends where you live. But they're coming everywhere. Everywhere. It's not good. Legally coming into this country is one thing. Just walking over, bringing all your shit with you, all the people they've let out of jails in Venezuela, they're going, get out of this country, go to America, and we'll let you out of jail. So great. So now we have all the shit. It's happening. You see it. It's going to happen more. The news doesn't want to tell you everything, but it's happening. This is Senator John Kennedy. They tried to impeach Mayorkas, the Secretary of... This guy, I swear to... He needs to be... I don't even want to get started with him. This is one of the biggest piece of craps in our government. Biggest liar. One of the biggest liars. And Senator John Kennedy from Louisiana. I love this guy. He's witty. He's smart. And he knows how to rip somebody a new a-hole politely. But he's grilling Mayorkas, our... God, I hate this guy. I just do. It's my opinion. He's going to get his day in hell. He's going to have to answer to somebody someday. But listen to John Kennedy. This will explain it all. And wait a minute, hang on one second. Let me see what we got here. Yeah, cannibals ate my teleprompter. Yeah, they do. You know what? No teleprompters here. I fly by the seat of my pants because there's so much in me to talk about. Again, I'm already over, and I'm going to have to not do some of my segments because it'll be a 2-hour show, and I want to try to make it to no more than an hour and a half. But I need you to check out this clip of Senator John Kennedy from Louisiana grilling our he's the head of the border, and he just plays stupid. He plays dumb, like they're doing everything they can and passing the buck, and screw him. He's the biggest piece of shit. He's the biggest contributor to what's happening with our border because he won't stand up. He's just a Biden's ass kisser. Anyway, check this out. I'm sorry.
It gives me no joy to say this, but most Republicans don't trust you. And a vast majority of the American people don't trust you. That's why you've been impeached. Now, my Democratic colleagues are going to try to sweep your impeachment under the rug and violate 200 years of Senate precedent in doing it. I don't think that they will be able to sweep the issue, maybe your impeachment, but not the issue, under a rug as big as the United States of America. Again, it gives me no joy in saying this. I think well more than a majority of the American people think that as a result of your behavior and President Biden's behavior, our southern border is an open, bleeding wound. I think they believe that our southern border is chaotic. I think a vast majority of the American people believe that a lot of it is political. I think a vast majority of the American people believe that it is chaotic by design, and that all of this is intentional. And I think while a vast majority of the American people who don't trust you believe in legal immigration, they don't believe in illegal immigration. And they think you do. And they think President Biden does. And they think that's why the border is open. And they think that your attitude and President Biden's attitude is that while they may be poorer under President Biden, that they're stupid enough to believe you and the president when you say that it's not your problem. I think that needed to be said. Isn't it a fact, Mr. Secretary, that the number of illegal immigrants that you and the president allow into our country counts for congressional district reapportionment?
Senator, I'm not sure I understand your question, but I can surely share with you that I disagree with its phrasing.
Isn't it true, Mr. Secretary, that the number of illegal immigrants that you and President Biden have allowed into our country counts for allocating electoral votes?
Same answer.
Okay. You don't know?
I don't understand your question.
Never crossed your mind?
The notion, Senator, that we intend to allow illegal immigration is nothing short of preposterous.
So you do understand my question?
And if I may, it is disrespectful to the extraordinarily hard work that we perform, and far more importantly, that the personnel in the Department of Homeland Security and across this administration perform to stem illegal immigration, build lawful, safe, and orderly pathways, and invest in a working system. And we only wish that bipartisan legislation, about which I have not heard a critical term,
Mr. Secretary, you're using up my time. You do this every single time. You do this every single time. And it's a fact, and you know it, and I know it, that the more people you allow into our country illegally, the more people are counted for reapportionment. And the more people that you allow into our country illegally, the more people are counted for allocating electoral votes. Now, maybe that's a coincidence, but that's a fact. And you know that. And you've done nothing for 4 years. Nada. Zero.
Absolutely false.
Zilch. And in fact, the only people I know in this country who are better off today than they were 4 years ago are illegal immigrants. And that's as a result of your policy. I don't hate you for it. I don't hate anyone, but that's why you've been impeached. And my colleagues may try to cover it up. They're going to try to cover it up, but they can't cover up the facts.
There's not a deep, dark enough place in hell for that man. Someday he's going to have to answer to somebody. But you decide. That's just my opinion. What do I know? Homeland Security. That's our boss of Homeland Security right there. Lying, lying, lying. Lies. They all lie. Judge for yourself. Start opening your eyes and pay attention. Please. Now I'm debating whether to do this. There's not enough time. I'm going to do it anyway. I've got so much controversy with the Lahaina fires. So much controversy. And I'm going to get this man on my show eventually here. But I just had to play this because people think that, not everybody, the conspiracy theorists, all this baloney about what happened over there. I have a gentleman that's from Maui who has an organization that they started who's questioning what happened in Lahaina because there are things that just don't make sense. And this is a little lengthy video, but the trees. How many trees, if you were in a forest fire, how many trees do you know that burn from the inside out? Like the whole inside of the tree is burned, but the bark, the most flammable part, the bark, is intact. Doesn't make sense unless it was happening through things that are just not normal. And I'm going to let this man talk about that because I still don't believe Lahaina was accidental. It was just a fire that happened because of winds and hurricanes and all this bullshit. There's a reason what happened over there. And eventually, like I said, I will have this man on my show. But I want you to pay attention to this because, again, I'm tired of getting these videos that you get the naysayers. I get these people that send me comments to this day. We've been doing shows on Lahaina since September. And every day I get somebody who's either, yes, you're correct, or somebody's like, you're full of shit, just conspiracy theories and all this crap. And, and a car can burn. I talked about it earlier on the show. Check this guy out and look at these trees and tell me how a normal fire can burn a tree, all these trees from the inside out. Just explain that to me. And again, don't tell me that this doesn't trigger like, okay, that is kind of weird. That is kind of weird. And this happened, and all these people that lost their lives, and I've shown you pictures and videos. There's so much more out there. And the next time we do a show, I'm going to get even deeper on Lahaina when I get to Lahaina again. Can't do it every week. But check this out, all right?
Aloha. I'm Paul Deloria for the Maui Community Investigation. And I'm here in Lahaina at a parking lot where we're looking at some strange anomalies. Particularly, we're looking at trees that are burnt from the core all the way down into the root system. And yet the rest of the tree, the bark hasn't been ignited. But again, as Bruce scans along here, you can see that some of the tree members are hollowed out from within from this fire, but yet the bark remains just fine. And again, as you look here at this tree that fell down, you can see that these fine branches here are also hadn't been burnt, and they had more aliveness at the time. This is 7 months after the fire in Lahaina. And we're going to look at 6 different trees in this one parking lot that have the same anomaly. And Bruce, could you explain a little bit about what this indicates in terms of kind of lightning strikes?
I'm going to throw this in because this is important, because when we talk about directed energy weapons or plasma wave technology, it's not lasers, okay, it's plasma waves, it's energy waves. It's not light, it's not photons, it's not lasers. But this behaves very much like lightning, because lightning is plasma waves, and directed energy weapon is plasma waves. So many of the things do it. So when lightning hits a tree, it's very interesting. It's this weatherman, pointing out how when lightning hits a tree, the energy that comes down from lightning concentrates at the base and lights the base on fire. And you'll see this tree burning from the down. Again, lightning comes down, it hits the lower, when it gets to the ground, it grounds out. That's what the energy does. And so the root right at the base catches on fire. And you see this, happening here in St. Louis Cemetery, where lightning hit this tree, and the same sort of thing. It's burning from the bottom up. So Paul's going to talk about that later, but I just wanted to take that into you now so you understand how plasma wave technologies work. That's what basically I have to show you.
Just to show you where we're located. Bruce, why don't you scan on over here, and you can see this historic building that is being resurrected. And you can see in between the tree here, I don't know if you can see it, Bruce, but there's that little light tower there as another landmark. And we're about a block away from Front Street here in Lahaina at this parking lot. So let's go to the next tree. Again, we're looking at several of these that have the same anomaly. And you can see it again, burnt out from within. And it goes all the way down. Also, that big tree that's up there, again, burnt all the way down to the core, which again is not normally happen in a fire. Sometimes you can get a spark that will go into a crevice. And if the tree is naturally hollowed out, that could ignite and have the same thing, but it wouldn't go down to the root system. So let's go down to this third tree that we have here. And we'll be looking at Again, see how it goes down and the embers all the way down into there. But again, the trees are not burnt out at the base here like the others, but again, at the very root system, at the foundation of the tree, it went. Now let's go to this next tree. Again, you see all the fine branches that if this was something that was totally destructive would have gone up in a blaze, but it didn't. But again, let's look at the base. Let's look at what's happening. Bruce is just going down, looking how deep this crevice goes and how it's burnt right down into the root system itself. And yet, as you look around, the foliage that's coming back over this past 7 months means that it wasn't, the other foliage wasn't burnt out at its roots where it was totally destroyed. But again, these trees in this whole parking lot, again, have the same thing. And when you look at the big branches and limbs, you see the same hollowed outness that occurs. And again, let's keep on moving along the parking lot here. And while we go to this next tree, I'll just talk a little bit about the Maui Community Investigation. We're a grassroots group that started right after the fire. Many of us here in the community felt something was not right, and we started digging. But again, look at this tree over here, and again, how it's burnt out. And Bruce, you're going to venture in there with these vines here, and you can see down deep into the tree how far the burn goes, but yet the lighter, smaller limbs and branches were not destroyed. So you're seeing many trees like this. Again, sometimes you can say, oh, that was a puka that got in there, but to have that level of destruction and burnout all the way down deep into the root system is something that is far from normal. And you can see, again, these branches, as Bruce goes into some of these limbs, and you can see how much they were hollowed out. Some, we did measurements on some of the trees, and it was about 12 inches deep that we saw. But here in this parking lot, again, it's something abnormal. And let's go to this other tree here. And again, same behavior that we see in the other trees. And again, Bruce is going to go right into the tree itself and look down. And again, and Bruce, if you could do a shot upward also on that. So we'll be coming back here in a little bit, and we'll be taking samples of the base core of the tree and what is in there at a deep level. We also brought a chainsaw with us so that we can further get some samples for later analysis. If this was some type of plasma wave that happened, then we'll have to see if there are trace elements, footprints, that we'll do an analysis to look at a little bit more deeply. We're digging, we're looking, and we've been, not only this anomaly that we're talking about here today, but there are over 30 anomalies like this that raise questions. And when I took those 30 anomalies to 5 fire captains and fire chiefs, they all said the same thing. This is more than just a natural fire. And I don't think we can really rely on what's happening on a state level, who is doing the official government investigation. They hired Underwriter Laboratories. And this was the same organization that was part of the 9/11 report, the NIST report that looked at the tower collapse of 9/11. And they put in fabricated information that's well proven. And again, it gave a theory of pancake theory. So who knows what theory they're going to come up with to explain some of these anomalies that we're looking at, or even if they're going to address that in their report that they're doing right now for the Attorney General. So again, our governor is saying that this is global warming that's doing this. And again, we are a community-based organization, a grassroots group. We're concerned citizens who are taking the initiative and being empowered to make a difference and saying, no, you're not going to dupe us like you did with 9/11 or other types of things that have occurred. We're going to get to the facts. We're going to get to the truth. And that's what we're about right now. So you can go to MauiCommunityInvestigation.com and take a look at the data that we've been gathering there. And if you can, if you have the financial means to support us, we'd greatly appreciate it. We're in a phase right now where we're looking at 4 different legal approaches, and we need to hire some lawyers to help us with that process. So again, any type of financial support would be greatly appreciated. We're at MauiCommunityInvestigation.com. Mahalo.
MauiCommunityInvestigations.com. Bunch of videos of these guys that are up on here. If this show is still up on here, you can find this show and them, Maui Investigation Communities, MauiCommunityInvestigations.com. They have a YouTube channel. If this show is still on YouTube, that'd be great. But if not, you can easily find them, and you can easily find the Peter G Show on other platforms, BitChutes, Rumbles, Facebook, LinkedIn. All the shorts are on Instagram. TikTok is a whole nother ball game. Let's see how far we can go with them before they knock me off. But either way, explain to me how the inside of trees, which is the hardest part of the wood, the hardest core. You know, when you chop firewood, you have to split it and let it age so it can dry out. The outside of the wood, all those thin little branches, how come they didn't all burn off? If that doesn't make you wonder, I don't know what the hell does. How does a tree burn, especially under the ground, the roots, which are cold, damp, and hard as hell? How do they burn? And the outside bark is still intact. That's all I got to say to you. And if you think things are not as they seem, this whole show is about things that are not as they seem. I hope it gets you thinking, because they've gone out of their way to manipulate everybody's minds. And I'm here to tell you, not this guy, and hopefully not you either. Maui, it's not over, okay? We're not done yet. And that's just one small. There's so many things going on everywhere. Our police. I hope you take all these and don't just forget about what's going on, because I'm telling you, it's coming to your town next, if it already hasn't. Shit is hitting the fan. We have to stand up and say, enough. Let's get back to what we used to have, which was not so bad. Elections are coming up. Think with your head, not with your emotions. For those who are haters to the orange man, I'm not saying that's a great solution, but it's going to be a better solution. Better solution. We are drowning. Lastly, cloud seeding, spraying in the air, metals, chemtrails. Do they exist? Do they not? It's real. I used to see it on Sunday afternoons where I live. You'd see these patterns. And we have airports and things. I'm thinking, no, that's just a lot of planes coming and going. But no, when that shit just hangs there, contrails fade away. Chemtrails just sit. Dubai, the desert, I mentioned this last week. They got pummeled with water because they've been cloud seeding. This has been going on for decades. But now it's starting to come to light. Here's the last video of the night, basically, showing you on don't screw with Mother Nature. It pummeled them and it destroyed them. Check this out.
Has anybody seen what the fuck is going on in Dubai right now? But what if I told you that I knew the exact reason as to why it was happening in the first place? You see this, right? Dubai grinds to standstill as cloud seeding worsens flooding. This is national news, people. This is something that so many of us have been labeled as tinfoil hats for so long. Conspiracy theorists, if you will. I mean, look at this shit. The heavy rains that caused widespread flooding across the desert nation stem partly from cloud seeding. I mean, look at this shit. The Gulf States National Center of Meteorology, right, dispatched seeding planes Monday and Tuesday to take advantage of convective cloud formations. That technique involves implanting chemicals and tiny particles, often natural salts such as potassium chloride, into the atmosphere to coax more rains from clouds. You can't make this shit up. With global warming threatening a surge in heat-related deaths in the UAE, Dubai's media office dubbed the downpours rains of goodness despite flooded houses and overflowing swimming pools. For any cloud that's supposedly suitable over the UAE, you make the operation. And more than 40 flights in Dubai International with canceled and inbound services were temporarily diverted until weather conditions improved. The UAE government issued warnings ahead of the heavy rains, asking people to stay at home and only leave in cases of extreme necessity, with 18 people also dying in neighboring cities. How do we just continue to stand for this shit? This is what happens when you quite literally try to play God. And people obviously aren't capable of understanding how dangerous this shit really is. This shit is not a joke, and you're going to face your consequences. Does anybody even believe in global warming or climate change anymore? And I'm talking about natural climate change, okay? Because these might be the same temperatures as 6,000 years ago, people. But people still refuse to acknowledge that because they allow their leaders to form an opinion for them. Cognitive thinking has gone right out the motherfucking window. And it literally seems like nobody can even think for themselves anymore. And honestly, at this point, humanity just seems like it needs a reset. If we don't choose to do it ourselves. Because that's literally the path that we're on as humanity. Get in touch with reality, people, because things are about to change really quick.
That's right. That guy was, he's on TikTok, The Beauty Marked. He does a lot of other things, but they're messing with Mother Nature. You know, they can manipulate the weather. Don't think they can't manipulate a lot of other things going around in this globe and calling it climate change. You have every reason to be concerned, all right? I'm doing this for you guys. I could be doing shows and we could be doing a bunch of stupid stuff, which I will do because I can't do this every week. It just kills me. But I'm doing this for awareness. I'm hoping I strike a couple of nerves. If you just think I'm full of shit and you hate me, it's like, all right, so be it. You know, some men you just can't reach. And women. But some you can. I, too, changed my tune when I started paying attention. And you need to pay attention because this is your life, your family, your kids, your grandkids that are all going to be affected. I hope this does something for you. I hope it strikes a nerve. Share, share, share. Please subscribe. If they don't take me down, I want you to subscribe to them too, and or the Facebooks and the LinkedIns, and I need you to follow me in many different places. So if one goes down, there's always another. These guys are number one of number two enemies on me. The TikToks are just the short clips, but these are the full shows. They're just wiping me out because they don't like what I have to say, and that's tough shit. I'll survive because I love you guys. I appreciate you paying attention for those of you who do. Next week, Wednesday, May 1st, love is in the air. All right. I'm going to do something a little more lighthearted because everybody needs to be loved. Everybody deserves to be loved. A lot of people just don't know how to be or what to do or how to be in a relationship as you get older. Let's face it, folks, it's not easy. You're not 20 anymore for those of you who aren't 20 anymore. But next week, Wednesday, May 1st, professional matchmaker and love coach, Miss Patricia Fuqua, is going to be with us for those who are seriously looking for love. She's going to talk about things. We've had her on the show. It's been almost 2 years ago. Time to bring her back. But these are for people who really want to put their money where their mouth is and find somebody to be with for the long run. So you're not going to want to miss it. Wednesday, May 1st, right here on the Peter G Show. For educational purposes tonight, for soul satisfaction, Patricia Fuqua will be on the show. It all does a body good and the mind. I want to thank everybody for watching the Peter G Show. Please share, subscribe, like, whatever it takes. Follow, whatever platforms you're on. I need your help if I am to continue doing this. If you don't care, then don't care, okay? But for those of you who just watch and just haven't pressed those buttons, it really helps me out a lot. I need your help because, again, there are forces within trying to not make this work. And I won't stop. I believe in what I do. I do it for me. I do it for you. I do it for my child, for my families, for your families. Awareness. It's just part of life. Just the way it is. Either way, I want to thank everybody for watching Life of Peter G, The Peter G Show, every Wednesday like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. on the East Coast. Super definitely God willing. Okay? Not all of us are fortunate enough to be here, to be alive. I just saw before the show started somebody else from a town that I grew up in unknowingly, or it wasn't planned, I'm sure, checked out. Now, maybe there's a better place ahead, but it hurts a lot for those of us who are alive on this planet. You know, we lose people and it hurts. Tomorrow's not promised. Live your life every day. I try to do, but it's hard. But again, you have to do your part. Don't just stick your head in the sand. That's not the way to go. I'll leave you a little cartoon, but it makes a lot of sense. And that's it. So, again, thank you for watching. My name is Peter G, and you're watching Life of Peter G, The Peter G Show. And I want to always tell you to be kind. Life is not easy. All right? So you don't have to be an ass, but you don't have to take a lot of shit from people either. It's tough. Take a deep breath, breathe, think before you speak. I hope you take what I've shown you into consideration to help broaden your horizons. I don't know everything. I don't. I get information from people that are way smarter than me. But I'm just here to deliver truth to you. And some laughs. And some cries. But we're all in it together. I love you guys. I'm going to tell you peace out right now and enjoy, all right? I'll see you next week.
Man, it's cold in here. Throw another taxpayer dollar on the fire, Joel. Joel, yeah? Ukraine is gonna need more money. Oh, how much you need? All of it. Well, I was gonna give some money to Ohio, but you guys obviously needed more, so here you go. I love the sound of you writing me a check. I love the sound of that 10%. You're missing a couple zeros, Joel. Oh, sorry about that. Wow, this place looks amazing. Looks like you've been using the American taxpayer dollars wisely. Oh, yes. Right over here, we're building a movie theater made out of solid gold. Over here, we just put in a solid gold toilet. And over here, we're building another bank to hold more American taxpayer money. Hey, man, what's going on? Is it raining? Oh, no, that's just American taxpayer money. Oh, you know, we got a slogan in America that goes, America last. That's our slogan, too. It is? Oh, man, that's awesome. Quick, let's play a game. All right. On the count of 3, name a country you hate. Don't even think about it, just say it. Okay, ready? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. America. Favorite country to take taxpayers' money from? America. Who would you give American money to? America or Ukraine? Ukraine. Did we just become best friends? Yeah. You want to go do karate in the solid gold garage? Yeah. Hey, Ty. Yeah. Ask him if he wants to buy one of my paintings. All right. Hey, you want to buy one of my son's paintings? Of course. This money's not going to launder itself. Oh, man, it's cold in here. Throw another Constitution on the fire. That's a good idea. What is this? I got you a gift, buddy. But what is it? Oh, it's a launch coat. Oh, thank you. You're welcome. I could use this. Keep America broke.
Peter G Show. Peter G Show. Divorced dad, single dad, divorced dad, single dad. Peter G Show.